Have you ever wondered why he keeps looking back, even after he's gone? Why his mind drifts back to the one woman he left behind, the one he thought he could forget? It's not her looks. It's not the way she laughed or the way she held his hand. It's something deeper. It's the way she carried herself, the way she never begged, the way she valued herself when he stopped valuing her. A man might walk away from a woman's love, but he will never forget the woman who knew her worth. There's a silent kind of power in a woman who refuses to shrink, a quiet storm in the way she doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't settle. She knows that love is not proven by pleading, and connection isn't kept through desperation. He remembers her not because she held on tight, but because she let go with grace. Because she never tried to become what he wanted. She stood as who she was. And that's unforgettable. Seneca once said, "A man who is not content with what he has will never be content with what he seeks." And he sought something different. He walked toward another woman, another story. But deep down, what stays in his memory is not her smile, it's your strength. The way you never doubted yourself even when he did. The way you didn't fall apart to make him feel whole. That kind of woman becomes a ghost he cannot shake, a name that lingers long after the silence sets in. Imagine a lighthouse. It doesn't chase ships. It doesn't cry when a sailor sails away. It stands tall and unwavering, shining its light. And one day, when the storms hit, when the sea turns dark, he remembers that light. He remembers the safety, the warmth, the strength. But by then, it's not the lighthouse that's lost. It's the sailor who turned away. And maybe right now, your heart feels heavy. Maybe you're asking yourself why you weren't enough. But beautiful soul, let me tell you, you were never too much, and you were never not enough. You were simply too rare for a man who didn't know how to hold something valuable. But now it's time to step into something greater. Not for him, for you. You don't need to fight for a place in his heart. You were never made to beg. You were made to reign. And once a woman begins to live like that, with her head high and her spirit unshaken, no man ever forgets her. That, dear woman, is how queens are born. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of your strength, your worth, your light, then take a moment, beautiful soul, and like this video. Subscribe to the channel because we are working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the power you deserve. This is your space. This is your reminder. And together, we rise. Number 1. He remembers her silence, louder than anyone else's words. Have you ever noticed how silence can be louder than a scream? Not the kind that begs for attention, but the kind that stings without a single word. He doesn't forget the woman who walked away quietly. He doesn't forget the moment her presence turned to absence, because when she stopped talking, when she stopped explaining, when she stopped showing up, that was the moment he started to feel the weight of everything he lost. She didn't leave with anger. She didn't curse his name. She simply stepped back. And that silence, it follows him. It crawls into his thoughts when the room gets quiet. It reminds him of how peaceful, strong, and powerful she truly was. She was the kind of woman who valued herself enough to not fight for a place she wasn't being given. And that kind of woman doesn't fade from memory. That kind of woman lingers, not in his arms, but in his regrets. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." And that's exactly what she did. She didn't scream. She didn't argue. She chose herself. She chose peace over chaos. And now he hears her silence everywhere. In the songs that used to remind him of her. In the late-night thoughts that never go away. In the moments when the one he chose can't reach him the way she did. Think of a candle. A warm, soft light. It doesn't burn the loudest, but it changes the whole room. And when it's gone, you don't notice the light first, you notice the absence of it. That's what she was, gentle but unforgettable, calm but powerful, and now he is in the dark, searching for that warmth again, only to find that he was the one who let it fade. And maybe right now, you're in the middle of your silence. Maybe you're still wondering if walking away was the right choice. But dear woman, let me tell you, your silence is your strength. You don't need to speak to be heard. You don't need to chase to be remembered. Because the woman who values herself never has to shout for attention. She becomes unforgettable just by choosing peace. This is where it begins. Not the end of your story, but the beginning of your reign. The moment you stop proving your worth and start walking in it. The moment you stop waiting for him to notice and start rising so high he has no choice but to look up in awe. Affirm this in the comments, queens. My silence speaks louder than words. Write it, own it. Let the world know your power no longer needs explanation. And if this message spoke to your soul, if it reminded you of the fire you still carry within, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you real, life-changing truths because you were never meant to beg, you were meant to reign. Number 2. He craves the calm she brought to his chaos, and now he drowns without her. Have you ever wondered why he keeps searching for peace but never finds it again? Why he lies next to her but still feels restless? Why even in moments of quiet, his heart feels loud? It's because he once had a calm in his life, a rare kind of calm that didn't come from silence, but from presence, from your presence. And now that you're gone, he's drowning in the noise of everything you never were. He thought love was about excitement, about drama, about chasing thrills. But now he understands, too late, that the most unforgettable kind of woman is the one who brings peace to a man's chaos. You didn't try to fix him. You didn't force him to change. You simply showed up with softness, with strength, with love that didn't demand attention. It deserved it. You were his safe place. And now that he walked away from it, he's lost in a storm he created. Lao Tzu once said, "She who conquers others is strong. She who conquers herself is mighty." And that's what he didn't understand. You had already conquered your own storms. You weren't looking for someone to fill you. You were whole. And that wholeness was the very thing he now misses more than anything. Because she might have his time now, but she will never give him what you gave so effortlessly. Peace without pressure, love without fear, presence without pretending. Imagine a deep ocean, calm on the surface, powerful beneath. That's who you were. Not loud, not demanding, but unforgettable. And now he's out there, drifting from place to place, hoping to feel something close to that again. But the truth? That kind of woman is not found twice. She is felt forever. Maybe right now your heart aches. Maybe you think you lost. But lovely woman, the truth is, he is the one who will wake up every day feeling your absence like a silence that never ends. And you are no longer the woman who waits. You are the woman who reigns. Write this in the comments and let it settle deep into your soul. I am the peace he will never find again. Claim it, queens. Let him feel the loss while you rise. We are working hard every single day to bring you real, raw, and life-changing truths, because queens like you deserve nothing less. Number 3. He compares every woman to her, but none carry her fire. Have you ever noticed how a man can be surrounded by people, yet still feel the absence of one woman? He laughs, he smiles, he moves on, but something still feels missing. He can't explain it, but he feels it in quiet moments. When everything settles, her name rises. Because the truth is, he compares. He compares every word, every look, every moment. And none of it feels like her. Why? Because she had something no one else could copy. Self-worth. And that fire? That's what burns in his memory forever. She didn't fight for attention. She didn't try to prove her value. She lived it. She carried herself like her soul knew its own price, and that made her unforgettable. The others may bring excitement, softness, or even beauty, but they don't carry her fire. Her fire wasn't about noise. It was quiet, calm, steady, a fire that warmed, not burned. And now he feels the cold, because every time he looks for that feeling again, it's just not there. Rumi once wrote, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." He left thinking the next would be better, but now he's learning the deepest truth. There is no replacing the woman who refuses to forget herself for love. That's not something he can find again. That kind of love doesn't repeat. Imagine a candle and a wildfire. A candle flickers, a wildfire commands. She was that wildfire. She didn't chase him. She lit up her own path. And now he's holding candles, one by one, hoping they'll feel like the blaze he once walked away from. But they don't. They never will. And maybe, beautiful woman, you've been questioning why you were left. Maybe you've been wondering if she was more. But hear this, it's not that you weren't enough. It's that he wasn't strong enough to stand beside a woman who already knew she was. You are not forgotten. You are unmatched. Because this world remembers the woman who walks in her worth, the woman who doesn't chase, the woman who shines with or without applause. That is the kind of fire no man forgets. Write this in the comments and claim it. He compares, but none carry my fire. Say it loud. We are working every day to bring you the truth, the strength, and the voice you always deserved. This is more than content. This is your empire. Let's build it together. Number 4. He walked away from a woman who knew her worth, and now he can't forget what it felt like to stand beside it. Have you ever watched a man walk away like he just made the smartest decision of his life, only to realize later he left gold behind for dust? He didn't leave because you lacked something. He left because you knew your worth, and that kind of strength can shake a man who isn't ready to rise with it. He walked away from a woman who never begged, never settled, never gave up herself just to be chosen. And now, he can't forget what it felt like to stand beside that kind of power. A woman who values herself is unforgettable, not because she tried to be, but because she didn't have to. She showed up with honesty, with loyalty, with fire in her soul, but she never lost herself in the process. While he chased comfort, she chose growth. While he looked for easy love, she offered depth. And now that she's gone, he's left chasing memories he can never recreate. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." And she was. She didn't talk about her worth, she lived it. That is what he can't forget. Because when a woman stands strong in who she is, when she doesn't bend to be wanted, when she knows she is enough as she is, that energy stays. It lingers in his mind. It becomes the standard nothing else lives up to. Think of her like a mountain. She didn't move for anyone. She stood tall, unshaken, no matter who walked away. And now, he's climbing hills, hoping one might feel like home. But nothing compares to standing next to the mountain he left behind. At first, you may have asked yourself why you weren't enough. You may have cried in silence, wondering what more you could have done. But beautiful woman, you didn't fail. He did. He couldn't handle a woman who knew her worth. But now it's not about him. This is about you rising, not to prove him wrong, but to live the life that always belonged to you. So now, let the pain be your fire, let the past be your power. You are not just healing, you are becoming untouchable. And queens, write this in the comments and claim it with all your heart. He walked away from my worth, and now he will never stand beside it again. Like this video and subscribe to the channel because we are here building something unshakable together. These are not just words, these are life-changing truths. We are working hard to bring you the lessons you deserve, and queens, your time has come. Number 5. He thought she needed him until he saw her shine without him. Have you ever seen a man so sure you'd fall apart without him, only to watch his world begin to break the moment you didn't? He thought you needed him. He thought your world revolved around his attention. He believed that without his presence, your light would fade. But what he didn't see coming was the glow you found the moment you chose yourself. That glow. It's the reason he still looks back. At first, it hurt. You gave your time, your love, your loyalty. You held him down, stood by him, believed in him when even he didn't believe in himself. And still, he walked away. Still, he thought he was the one holding everything together. But queens, the moment you stopped giving him your power, he saw what real power looked like. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And your thoughts, they changed. You stopped thinking like the woman who needed to be chosen. You started thinking like the woman who had always been enough. You became the one thing he never imagined you'd become, completely whole without him. Think of a star. When it burns quietly in the night sky, no one really notices it. But when that star explodes into a supernova, it lights up galaxies. That's what happened when you walked away. You didn't just survive without him. You expanded. You burned brighter. And now he watches from afar, squinting through the darkness, trying to figure out how the woman he underestimated became the one thing he can't forget. In love, he thought you'd chase. He thought you'd plead. But instead, you rose. You laughed again. You built your peace. You looked in the mirror and remembered who you were before he made you forget. And that's when it hit him, not just the loss of your love, but the weight of your absence. He thought you needed him, but now he's the one needing what he can never have again. So now, dear woman, no more shrinking, no more waiting to be seen. This is your time. To stand tall, to live boldly, to reign fiercely. You were never broken, you were only becoming. Write this in the comments and claim it. He thought I needed him until I started shining without him. Queens, let this be your truth. Let it be your fire. We are working every day to bring you the truth, the healing, and the power you were always meant to carry. Number 6. He mistook her confidence for pride, and now he regrets not honoring her crown. Have you ever noticed how quick he is to call her too proud the moment she refuses to shrink for his comfort? The moment she doesn't break at his silence, the moment she stops apologizing for knowing her worth. Suddenly, he says she's difficult, too much, too confident. But here's the truth he's trying to ignore. He never hated her confidence. He feared it. He mistook her power for pride. And now he's living with the weight of regret, because the woman he couldn't handle is the woman he can't forget. He thought love meant control, that if she truly cared, she would bend, but she didn't bend. She stood tall. She didn't soften her voice just to be heard. She didn't hold back her strength to make him feel bigger. And when he realized he couldn't shake her self-worth, he called it pride. But what he didn't understand then is this. A woman who values herself cannot be controlled. She can only be respected. As Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And she mastered herself long before he ever entered the picture. She loved him, yes, but she never lost herself in him. That's what made her rare. And now that she's gone, he remembers the way she walked, the way she spoke, the way she lit up every room. Not because she needed attention, but because she carried her worth like a crown. He regrets it now. But a crown, once discarded, does not return to the same head. Think of a mountain. A mountain does not lower itself so the climber feels safe. It stands strong and unshaken. Some reach the top and cherish the view. Others grow tired, turn away, and say the climb was too much. That's what he did. He called her too hard to love, when in truth, he just wasn't strong enough to love a woman who loved herself first. Maybe right now your heart feels cracked. Maybe you're wondering if you should have been quieter, softer, easier. But let this be your reminder. You were not too much. You were simply not meant to dim for a man afraid of your light. And now it's time to step into what you were always born for, not just to love, but to reign. Beautiful soul, write this in the comments and claim it. My confidence is not pride, it is my crown. Let this world know you are done shrinking for love. You are done apologizing for knowing your value. And if this message lit something inside you, if it reminded you of the woman you are and the queen you're becoming, like this video, we are here, pouring our hearts into creating life-changing truths just for you. This is your time. No more waiting. Let him regret. You rise. Number 7. He will remember her as the one who didn't just love him, she loved herself more. Have you ever noticed how he remembers everything after you stop fighting for him? Not when you were giving your all. Not when you stayed up late just to make sure he was okay. Not when you carried the weight of the relationship on your back. No, he starts remembering you when you're gone, when you're no longer available, when you're no longer loving him more than you love yourself. That's when it finally hits him. He didn't just lose a woman. He lost the one who knew how to love deeply and still chose herself. He thought you would always be there. He thought your love meant sacrifice, that you would keep pouring into him while you slowly emptied yourself. But you reached a point where enough was enough. You chose to love yourself more. And now he sees the difference, because there's nothing more unforgettable than a woman who gave her heart but never gave up her soul. Epictetus once said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." You didn't just learn who you were, you remembered. You stopped bending just to keep him comfortable. You stopped shrinking just to keep the peace. And when he realized he couldn't control you with silence, couldn't win you with crumbs, he felt the loss of something he never truly earned, your presence. Think of a rare book in an ancient library, not just beautiful on the outside, but full of wisdom, fire, depth. He held it once. He flipped through the pages, but he never took the time to understand its value. He put it back on the shelf, thinking he'd find another. But now he walks through every aisle and nothing compares. Nothing holds that weight. Nothing feels like home. That's what you've become in his life, a story he'll never finish, a chapter he'll never get to rewrite. And now, beautiful woman, you rise. You stop giving to be seen. You stop waiting to be chosen, because the moment you chose yourself, everything shifted. You became more than unforgettable. You became untouchable. He may meet others, but he will never meet another you, and that will follow him, silently, endlessly. So write this in the comments and claim it with your whole soul. I loved him, but I love myself more. Say it loud, queens. Let the world hear it. And if this message reminded you of your power, if it stirred something inside your heart, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you the truth, the healing, and the strength you deserve. This is your moment, your story, your throne. Reign like you were always meant to.